Deep in Unova's Chargestone Cave lies an area where even the most powerful Pokémon trainer cannot reach. It is completely cut off from the rest of the cave, and can only be accessed by rappelling from the top of the lowest available floor. In this deep well, huge colonies of Gigalith and Ravenous Electros lurk in the shadows. How could any Pokémon exist in an environment so far away from the sun, you may ask? It's simple. The producers have another source of energy. It is believed that the deepest recesses of Chargestone Cave were created by the constant gnawing away of generations of Boldore, who survived on minerals and radiation, taken in from the cave's luminescent rocks. In the wild, it is energy such as this that gives Boldore the energy needed for evolution. Only in the deepest recesses of Chargestone Cave are there Boldore colonies completely cut off from the outside world, as most other Unova caves have a multitude of access areas where Boldore can take in sunlight. These Boldore have proved incredibly important in the study of trade evolutions, as the energy in their crystals can be easily measured. The energy expended in a Pokémon trade is incredible, being measured at almost 12,000 gigajoules. This is not only far above the requirements for Boldore to evolve, but incredibly wasteful. According to recent theories by celebrated Pokémon scholars, much of this spare energy is transferred to Pokeballs during a trade, and that energy can be further transferred to the Pokémon inside it. In the case of Boldore, and perhaps all other trade evolutions, with the possible exception of Karrablast and Shelmet, the Pokémon can use this energy spike to trigger evolution. For now, there is little we know for certain about the process of trade evolution, but we can marvel at these amazing Pokémon. Haunter is a very mysterious Pokémon. It is well documented that simple battle experience evolves Ghastly into Haunter because as Ghastly grows stronger, its body, which can be made up of as much as 95% gas, becomes more and more corporeal. While Haunter isn't the most physical Pokémon, its form is more solid than any Ghastly. This finding would lead many to believe that in order to evolve Haunter into Gengar a similar method would have to occur, as Gengar is also much more corporeal than Haunter. But there has been no evidence that a Haunter can evolve through battle experience alone. It takes a rather odd solution to evolve it. Evolving a Haunter, as many of you will know, involves trading your loyal Ghost-type Pokémon to another fellow trainer. It is only through this method that you will be able to utilize Haunter to its full potential. Most pseudo-intellectuals will tell you that it's obvious why Haunter evolves this way. Trading a Pokémon exposes it to a rare kind of radiation that is found during trades. But it has actually been found that a Haunter simply exposed to the radiation in a lab, minus the trading, will not evolve. Thus, the radiation is not truly the cause of evolution. There is a myth as to why Haunter evolves through trading. It is that as Haunter travels between the two trainers it is able to tap into the shadows, and the foul thoughts of them both. Haunter feed off these things and with twice as much to eat, it quickly gains strength and reaches evolution. Magoke and Gurjar are both strong fighters which dedicate their whole existence to the mastering of physical combat and blunt violence. Be it straight punches, quick throws, or thumb wars, they continuously strive to excel their skills, with a high metabolism to account for their strenuous activities. But given the strength they can build up from personal training alone, once they are caught or given to a trainer for the first time, they instantly bond with their new guardian, and it has been proven that these two fighters develop better under an overseeing presence. With that in mind, the fact that they evolve after being traded to a different trainer has for a long time been disputed. Neither Magoke nor Gurjar requires more energy absorbed from the transfer in order to evolve, as they're both saturated with power prior to their evolution. For that reason, many believe that their evolutionary trigger is instead of a psychological nature. This, too, has spurred a plethora of different theories. The trade could be seen as proof of their adulthood, where they no longer require the aid of their original trainer and are prepared to serve a new ally. The reverse is equally possible, where this sudden exchange causes them to evolve further, in hopes that their old master would have a change of heart and reclaim their services, which is often the case. There is, of course, another theory that their transformation is merely fueled by their anger and rage due to the sudden dismissal from their trainer, but the number of murder incidents related to both custody exchanges and Pokémon assaults aren't nearly as numerous to make a conclusive statement. The fact remains that a Pokémon trade is the right kind of stimulus required for their final form, and it has been a major boon to trainer interaction ever since. The Abra line of evolution is one of great interest to scientists and Pokémon professors. Often thought to be the most intelligent Pokémon going, it is constantly wondered why Abra even evolves at all. With its ability to teleport away from danger, most wild Abra are generally untouchable by the region's apex predator. It is thought that Abra and Kadabra's evolution comes from a desire to attain more knowledge, further their intellect, and therefore further their psychic powers. Kadabra is not a particularly physically powerful Pokémon, therefore it requires the energy impulse from the trade with another trainer to combine with its huge psychic power. This, coupled with the aforementioned desire to attain more information, catalyzes the transformation of Kadabra into Alakazam. This evolution is thought to be the most energy-rich and expensive evolution in the entire Pokémon world. Another theory is that Alakazam is the antithesis of another trade-linked evolution Pokémon, Machamp. Some believe that these two evolutionary lines have been evolving side by side for generations, constantly trying to outdo each other. An evolutionary battle of brains and brawn seems to have developed, with both lines striving for the ultimate final form. In Alakazam's case, this final form requires the input of energy that can seemingly only come from a trade with another trainer. Kadabra trades are one of the most sought after in the world, and people have been known to pay thousands of Poké dollars for such a trade.